It's great if you have a buyer. If you bring some goods on the marketplace and there's a buyer, because there are directors who don't buy anything. They are just selling their ideas.
Yeah, but also you can have a director who takes your goods and picks it up and says, this is rubbish.
And then are other directors who takes your goods and they say, oh, this belongs to me. It's mine.
That, not so healthy. But then they pick up your goods and then they polish it
yeah.
And then they repair it and they say, now it's better.
Yeah. Not bad, yeah. During the film festival in Karlovy Vary, we had a guest who came from England. She was an actress, British. Her name is Romola Garai. Mm-hmm. You know her?
I don't know her personally, but I've seen her work. Yeah, she's a fine actress.
Yeah. And she was in the Royal Shakespeare Company as well. Mm-hmm. And she said, you are so blessed that you can play Shakespeare in the translations, that you can have modern translations. And we have to use this ancient Shakespeare's language. What do you think about it?
I might have to have a big argument with her about that.
Is it still enjoyable?
Well, it's the work of genius.
Well, sure.
And the language is a huge part of that genius.
Yeah.
The choice of words, the philosophy, the intellect, and the rhythm. And the rhythm is from then, not now. And the punctuation is from then and not now. And if you let Shakespeare teach you the punctuation and the rhythm and where the breaks are, tell you what he's saying, and he's showing you how to speak it. I don't want it translated into modern English. I have no. Well, it's a pointless act. So I would have to have a very big argument with her about that.
You know, in Czech Republic, we have a lot of translations of Shakespeare from the 20s, 30s, and so on. And some of the translations are contemporary, and they are very good.
Yeah, I'm sure, and that's fine.
But we cannot play it in English, and you are right, because if we are playing the old Czech authors, we also don't translate it into modern.
No, and the other part of Shakespeare's genius, of course, is that actually now nearly all of them, are given some incredibly modern interpretations and productions. The themes are universal and everlasting, and so you can put it in modern dress and give it a modern energy, but still use the text as it is.
It's quite incredible that one person could write all of it. There's a lot of argues if it was one person. Yeah. What do you think? What is your opinion?
Every bit of research and common sense says it couldn't possibly have been this man because he didn't have the education, his children were illiterate. Where did he get the language from, the vocabulary? So there are all sorts of theories, and there are some very famous proponents of the fact that it wasn't Shakespeare, that it was the Earl of Southampton or whoever. The only way you're ever going to find out is if somebody invents a time machine, so we go back and have a look and see who it was. But it doesn't occupy my mind too much.
I have to say I hate all kind of fundamentalism, including the artistic fundamentalism. And I like very much that you agreed to play in an action movie, because you are a Shakespearean actor, intellectual. But I guess it might be a lot of fun to do Die Hard.
Well, it was, because I was completely ignorant. I had never made a film before, never mind an action film. I'd never made a film before. The idea of doing an action movie had never occurred to me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Clearly, I was ahead of the game and ahead of time, because now everybody's doing action movies or picking up a gun and shooting. You know, I see that there's a movie just opened in England with Mark Rylance holding a gun. You know, one of our greatest Shakespearean actors. So everybody's doing it now. Then nobody was doing that, so it was a bit of a surprise to everybody and me. But with hindsight, what was very good about that film and what made me able to do it is that it had a very good script. and it's witty.
Yes, exactly.
It
was on the edge.
Yeah, it's not a stupid film.
Yes, yes, yeah. I would say it has some kind of humor in it.
It's very funny, yeah.
Does an action movie need a different acting approach?
Not at all. I didn't know, I wouldn't have known what other approach to bring to it other than the one I had, which is, who is this person? What's his background? What did he have for breakfast? What is he thinking? In order to build a character. And because I applied that logic to it, I moved him from being dressed in a lot of terrorist gear, which he was, according to the producers and the writer. And I said, well, what would happen if we put him in a suit and made him more urbane? And that happened, and then as a result of that came a scene in the film where I pretend to be an American and he thinks I'm one of the hostages, Bruce Willis. So, you know, there's an example of where pursuing a process and a logic actually affected the outcome of the film.
I cannot avoid a question you got 1,000 times, but your death fall at the end of it, those days it was not so many special effects available. So you really had to do it yourself? It was
40 feet.
40 feet. Any kind of training? Did you have
Fortunately, yes, 1 day's training, because I think they might have been in real trouble. Yeah, I was dropped from 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, just to make sure that I obeyed crucial instructions, which were to spread my arms and legs, because if I didn't, if you fall without creating a kind of star shape in the air, your body will turn and you'll land on your head and you'll be dead. Possibly.
It's quite scary, but then it's easy to act it.
No acting was required.
No.
That's a real expression on my face.
I guess so. What were you thinking in the moment you were falling? Any kind of
you don't have thoughts.
Memories?
It's why I like roller coasters.
Yeah. You do?
Yeah, I love them because they stop you thinking.
Yeah.
You don't have any thoughts. You don't have any thoughts when you're falling 40 feet.
That's right. Yeah.
It's good to empty your head. Maybe they should. Maybe they should make it a ride at Disneyland or something.
Was there something you could learn from Bruce Willis?
You learn from everybody you work with.
How to hold the gun, or is it?
No. He's very focused and he's very organized, and it's not easy to fulfill people's expectations in those roles. You know, you have to be. It was okay for me to be imperfect. He has to be sort of perfect and still ironic and witty, and that was what was good about the film, is that, you know, he's cutting his feet because he's stupidly walking around with nothing on his feet, with broken glass, and he's got a strong wife with a broken marriage, and so he's got lots of vulnerable areas, but he still has to be the hero.